And now, Starliner Media presents Music Night at the Majestic's Holiday Extravaganza with your host, Michael Boswell.
All right, it's time once again for Music Night at the Majestic's Holiday Extravaganza. Joining us tonight, Johnny Spazz Hatton. Johnny, welcome to the
Hi.
show.
Thanks, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I see
Glad to be
you're
alive.
you're as festive as we are. I'll tell you what, the holiday music is a wonderful thing, and I've seen you many times playing bass with the Brian Setzer Orchestra.
That's good.
So
I'd rather be seen than heard or obscene.
Tell me this: what are some of the memorable things from some of those Christmas tours?
It's always a challenge to get on that bass and not fall off of it. That was memorable. Let's see, that's always fun. Memorable. Wow. Getting stuck in somewhere in Canada on a highway that was snowed in, and there was a fatality accident ahead of us a ways. So we were just there for hours until they sorted all of that out in the snow, and that's a memory that pops up right now. And of course, all the good times we have on the gig, those are everyone's just fantastic. Every memory of that. There's always a great show and people. I like to go out to the lobby afterwards and just say hi to folks and stuff. I think it's good. And Tim Messina always makes fun of me. Hey, what are you, a star? You're coming. You're like a star. But he's one of the best guys in the band. He's the band leader, lead tenor. We are total opposites, Tim and I, but it's like this, but fun. It's like a funny hang with Tim.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, everybody that I know that has seen you guys perform, comments on the fact that you guys seem like you're having an absolute ball up on that stage.
This is true. I mean, where could you go and play in that kind of a band and get away with stuff? The horns are all doing the moves and everything. Somebody said it was like when the curtains opened, it was like a 3-ring circus with no ringmaster.
We don't need no authority figure.
Yeah. And of course, Brian's great. He's just a fantastic musician, and it's hard not to dig it. If I was playing with some lame guitar player, it would be, oh hum, we got to go on, but this is like, yeah, I'm on stage with Brian Setzer and we're making great music.
Tell me this, what are some of the highlights of those shows for you?
Well, I remember one show, maybe the first one maybe, I got on stage and I thought this was going to be like your daddy's big band, because I play in a lot of big bands here in LA, and they're rehearsal bands because nobody can hire a big band anymore. So we just get together and read charts, it keeps our reading up. So I thought, well, that was my first gig. I guess you might call it the very first gig I played. And I was subbing for Mark Winchester here at a gig for a bunch of lawyers at a Hard Rock cafe. So it's a small room. And they said, we met in I forgot where the dressing room was, but somewhere. And they said, well, here's the book and here's the set list and pull the charts. So I'm pulling the charts just like every other big band gig you go on, and lining up so they're in order. And then the show was on. And so got on stage, and Brian kicks it off, and I hadn't heard Brian Setzer ever before this time, and I noticed he's got two giant amplifiers in front of him, or in front of the band. Two Fender, I guess they're Showman cabinets or something like that. Bassman, two Bassman, double 15s or whatever's in there, but Fender Bassman, and two of them. And I began to get nervous. So, and then he kicks it off, and Bernie Dressel is right over here off of my left ear. My God, this is loud! Holy cow! And I usually, when I know a gig is going to be a rock and roll gig or loud, because I'll put earplugs in because I don't want to lose my hearing. So I didn't have the earplugs in because I thought this was going to be like your daddy's big band. Grandpa's big band. But no, Bernie Dressel banging as hard as he can, driving this band, and Brian's amp, and horns are blowing, and I'm trying to grab the earplugs out of my pocket, and still play. So that was my first gig with the orchestra, and I'll never forget it. So
surprise.
So after this, I never get even near the stage unless I've got them in, because one time, there's my phone. Is that a great ring or what?
Well, tell me this, what are some of the songs that you really look forward to playing when you're out with those guys?
Say that again.
What are some of the songs in the orchestra's Christmas show that you really look forward to playing?
Man, he's got a great arrangement of a classic big band, Nutcracker Suite. And I'm trying to think of the composer. He passed away recently, a couple of years ago. Oh, by golly. I can't, my memory's gone to crap because I'm getting old, right? So anyway, it was a famous arrangement of the Nutcracker done for one of the early big bands.
Stan Kenton, if I remember correctly. Stan Kenton?
It wasn't Kenton. Like, I'm trying to, it'll come to me right in the middle of an interview when we're talking about something else. But I think it was for Les Brown's band.
Okay.
Yeah. And Frank Comstock was the arranger. And I remember as a kid watching Dragnet. Did you ever watch Dragnet? Dun,
oh, yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 all trombones. Dun, 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 dun. I didn't know that. I didn't realize that those were all trombones. And then I used to watch Dragnets on black and white. This is when I was back in Kansas City, a kid, in the 50s or whatever. And then at the end of the show, it said music, Frank Comstock. And I go, that's a really nice name, Comstock. Frank Comstock, because it sounded like cop, And so come to find out, he was the one who arranged the Nutcracker Suite, I think for Les Brown or one of those bands back in the day. He said, and one day this is after I'd written an article for the Musicians Union paper here in LA. And it was about the fact that we were playing charts by Frank Comstock. And I may have mentioned the Dragnet thing. And then one day I'm on the way to a gig, and my cell phone rings, and it's Frank Comstock calling me. And he was 82, I think, at the time. And he says, man, thanks for the article. That was really great. And we talked for an hour because, commute times in LA are long, especially from Woodland Hills to like the Orange County. That's at least, I mean, in bad traffic, it could be 3-hour drive. So we must have talked for an hour, and finally I had to cut him off. Frank, I'm here at the gig. But he told me all these stories, and he said he wrote that arrangement when he was 27 years old. So he had some arranging chops for sure.
I'd say.
I think he was in his 80s when I talked to him. So that probably made him maybe in his 50s or so when Dragnet was happening, 40s maybe. God rest his soul.
Absolutely. Well, tell me this: the Christmas music, was it? Were you always fond of it, or are there certain songs that kind of define the season for you?
Oh man, I attend church regularly and play in church bands, so. we have a band at our church, and I just like the religious hymns, that that are about the season,
Hmm.
Jesus' birth and so on.
Yeah.
Oh, Holy
What's your
Night.
favorite?
I don't know. Oh, Holy Night's a great one because it has a
Hmm.
little lift in the middle. It builds into those. They're all wonderful. Oh, come ye faithful, and I'm in an orchestra as that a symphony that in L.A. called the Palisade Symphony, and we just performed the Messiah, and of course that's a classic beyond belief, and
Hmm.
Handel, and
Yeah.
the girl I normally play the bow bass, arco bass. I have a really nice symphony bass that I play on that one because you can't use an amp, so you got to have a bass that has a tone. And the chick who's the principal bassist, she said, "Well, we're only going to use two basses on this because you can't drown out the choir." So I played violin. Took my violin. That was my first instrument when I was 6. And
Uh-huh.
little known that I was pretty accomplished. By the time I got in high school, I was a concert master, which means concert master is the guy, the fiddle player that's right next to the conductor, closest to the audience. He's the first chair first, and he is responsible for taking over if the conductor has a mishap or gets lost in the snow or something. So concert master is also the assistant conductor by tradition.
Hmm.
So anyway, I was concert master of the Missouri All-State Youth Orchestra. Woohoo! So I just love all the classics. And
Yeah.
so I played second violin in it was a couple of weeks or about a week and a half ago. We played Handel's Messiah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
encourage everyone to go hear that eventually. It's not
yeah.
just the hallelujah. I mean, that's in there, but there's so many other great movements.
Yeah. No, you mentioned, starting young in music. Did you get musical gifts growing up?
Well, my first musical gift was my fiddle. I was 6 years old. My dad pulled it out of a paper bag, a brown paper bag, and it was maybe, I don't know, a foot long or so because I was 6, so it was a half size. And to this day, I still get that thrill that I saw. Wow, when that came out of he pulled it out of a brown paper bag in our kitchen back in Macon, Missouri, where I lived at the time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
How about now? Do you still get, musical stocking stuffers and stuff?
Well, no.
You better talk to Santa.
No. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Have I gotten musical gifts? I got so many basses. I'm actually selling stuff. I've sold a couple of my basses on um, just by posting it on the media. Bases for
Uh-huh.
sale. I'm reluctant to sell the flame bass, though. My wife won't let me.
Yeah, now you might
Can't
want to hang
sell
on to
the
that one.
can't sell the red bass. Um,
Yeah.
but
Now, if go ahead.
I do have a nice 54K that's up for grabs. Call me. I'm in the book. I'm in the LA Union book.
I'll tell you, when you were on the show before, we were talking about your classic cars and your truck. Are you in any holiday parades with your vehicles?
Well, by golly, I got my car and truck in the film Fableman, which is
Oh
out. I
wow.
haven't seen it yet, so I don't know if there's any shots, but look for a 62 GMC pickup truck, white over gray, and a 53 Ford station wagon, green and cream. So those two might have a shot or two. Also, I got the truck got a few shots in Ford versus Ferrari a few years ago. You can
That's
see it
cool.
parked on the street in the last scene. A real nice shot. And then
Uh-huh.
the restaurant scene, you can kind of see the cab of it. We're looking through the restaurant. It was a night shot. And they backed the truck. They said, "Put your pickup truck, or we got to block some sound equipment." So they call them blockers, high profile vehicles like Suburbans and things.
Hmm.
I had my Suburban in something a few years ago, and there was a modern truck parked down the street, and they said, "Go park your maybe that was the GMC." Yeah, I think it was. Okay. Yeah, they parked the GMC in front of it and made it look like an old truck because what they see first is what kind of the mind sees.
Right. Yeah. Well, tell me this, Johnny. The For any youth out there where Santa's looking for stocking stuffers,
Oh,
might you have
yeah.
anything that
I
would?
have some, I have some gift suggestions uh, for you aspiring bass players. Well, here is my book that tells you
Rockabilly bass.
everything you need to know about slapping the bass. And I don't know if there's anything about standing on the bass in there, but there's me standing on it. And it's full of, by the way, you get to learn to read.
Hey.
I'll autograph it for you and personalize it. And then, look, you get to learn to read notes.
Hey.
Like you have to, if you're going to take my gig in the BSO, you got to read. You can't just go up there and fake it. Nah, there's music. So learn to read, kids. And here's another goodie. There's my only CD, Gospel Bop. And it's all gospel tunes, kind of, but rockin' gospel tunes. Bernie's on that, and some other people, and it sounds great. Good vocals. I'm singing all the tunes, and some good friends of mine are helping out on the backup vocals, and we got a great guitarist, Fino Roverato. That's a great name, just in itself.
It is.
He's one of the top session guys around, and a good friend. And like I say, Bernie, and let's see, Doug Livingston on piano. He's been on so many things. Oh God, I'm trying to think of who else we might know. My wife, Mrs. Hatton. Her name's really Carol, but I call her Mrs. Hatton out of respect and fear.
It's a fine line between those two things.
Yeah. And she's featured on the last tune. And every time I listen to that CD, I start tearing up at the last song. Oh, I'm going to tear up right now. Yeah, there's a bunch of tunes, a lot of tunes. 14 songs. Who does 14 that nowadays? Songs. There's 14 songs. There's a great one called "Get in Line, Brother" by Lester Flatt. That's a "Get in Line, Brother." All about it. "I Saw the Light" starts Hank Williams, and a friend of mine wrote that second song, "Gospel Bop," the title track. Well, a bop bop bop, yeah, the gospel bop, and he Miguel Enriquez wrote that, and he had a band, a trio, and they would play a rockabilly church down in South County, in Orange County there, every Sunday, and they'd get bikers showing up. He did it at a pizza joint. So that's let's see. I got other friends. Daniel McClanahan wrote "The Other Side of Me." Oh, there's my phone again. There. Is that a great ring or what? This is, you don't want to have this go off in church.
No, probably not.
Let's see. "Get in Line, Brother." That's a good one. "Soul of a Man Never Dies." That's William Golding's song. "Far Side Bank of Jordan." That's a beautiful one. "Come to Jesus." "All Is Well." Bonus track. My friend Jimmy Street wrote this one. He's in the band. We have a band called the Hodads for years, playing parties around LA. He wrote this, and it's What's It Like in Hell. And it is like being in hell when you hear this second, the bonus track. And some people say it's their favorite song because it's way out.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can get that on johnnyhatton.net. I'll send you that. And I'll send you one of these for the right money.
There you go. You have stocking stuffers galore.
There's more stuff.
But wait, there's yet
more. We have an assortment of Spazz t-shirts with my signature head.
There you
I
go.
sign my name that way sometimes. All on johnnyhatton.net.
Which we have scrolled across the bottom of the screen as we speak.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Man.
How fortuitous that the information should be available as you're hawking your wares.
Do I got to give you a taste for this?
We'll discuss the commission when we're done. I'll tell you what, Johnny, is there anything that we have missed here during the holiday extravaganza?
Let me show you. I'm going to move the camera around because different folks around the universe and the world send me stuff. They send me pictures and photographs. So I've been framing them. Here's one. Isn't that a great picture? Now I can't remember who sent it, but look at the colors.
Oh yeah.
The bass and the guitar are all colored, but everything else is black and white. Now that was
very cool.
And then I have this one's really, really great. I don't, and I forget who took them. I wish they'd sign them. Let's see. That's me and the boss having fun. He's up there, and I'm down there. And this one was an original piece of art.
Oh, wow.
That's a watercolor.
Very nice.
That's pretty cool. Original art. Well, that's about it. Oh, and here, my wife made this. You got to see this. She's a quilter. Man, I'm stumbling around. That's a quilt.
Oh wow!
And I love golf, so I got an old golf club and cut it short, and hang the quilt through that. Now down here, look at this. I happened to play it around with a famous basketball player, and he signed it. Elgin Baylor.
Oh wow!
There he is. A lot of people don't know that name, but he was there. He was around when Wilt the Stilt, so I framed that. Oh, look here. That's gonna be worth some money someday.
Yep.
It actually cost a lot when I bought it, but it was about $250. But I figure that's gonna be worth $2,500 someday. 2 golf courses. Well, that's the tour of the mess.
All right.
I got to show you this. Dave Kaplan's wife took this picture, and it looks like, and she mounted it on this piece of metal, is that great?
Yeah, it's very cool.
Metal deal, and you can see that's metal showing through the black.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. Oh, here's another one.
It's like you're a heavy metal bass player.
And another friend of mine painted this. He painted this or created this artwork. And I found the frame at Goodwill. There's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, you got a nice collection there, Johnny.
Yeah, junk. My wife says, get rid of some things. Oh, and for you chess players, chess.com. Get on chess.com and look me up. I think I'm Spazz King.
Okay.
I mean, we play, it was like postcard chess. You got 7 days to make a move. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, good deal. Well, I'll tell you what, Johnny.
Y'all
ahead.
keep your fingers crossed that we'll tour soon. We're hoping.
That would be a good thing. I was going to ask you if you guys are going to be out on the road.
Well, I called manager a few months ago and I said, "Are we touring this winter?" And they said, "Well, no. In order for us to tour in December, we have to start planning in January." So it's a major deal for them. And in January, it was up in the air. It was a crapshoot then. So no tour this year. Hopefully something in the summer. I'd like to tour Australia. Hey, Brian, if you're hearing this, let's go back to Oz, okay? It was fun there.
At least the Chicago area. That's all I ask for.
Oh, okay. I remember the last time we went through the upper. It was freezing, because it's a winter tour, and we got to where's the city that's on the downwind side of one of the lakes, and half of the city had 4 feet of snow, and the other because it blows off of one of the Great Lakes, and just it's like a snowblower coming off of that
the
lake.
UP.
What's that?
In the UP, the Upper Peninsula.
Oh no, this was in New York State, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I can't think of, but it's just half of the city had 4 feet of snow, and the other half was nothing here. It was interesting.
I said that had to be interesting to see.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, tell you what, Johnny, we will bring this holiday extravaganza to a close here. I do appreciate you taking the time to join us.
You're so welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hey, no problem. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.
Bye, folks.
If you enjoyed Music Night at the Majestic's Holiday Extravaganza, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and at musicnight.net. Music Night at the Majestic is a copyright production of Starliner Media. Any use of this program, its audio, or visual images without the express written consent of Starliner Media is prohibited.